You guys know I put out a lot of builds on the channel when it comes to the Illuminates, the bugs. We do some builds for the bots as well, even though I don't like getting ragdoll 24/7. So the other day, I was playing Helldivers 2, and I was like, what if I was to create one build that would literally be great for every single faction?
One
Build
to rule them all.
So what would that look like, right? Something that I just want to slap on, and boom, I can play against any faction and not worry about it at all. And I believe I created that build. It works really well against all factions, and I haven't had any problems so far. So let's break this down. And by the way, if you guys have any cool build ideas, drop them in the comment section below. And if there's some cool ones, I'm definitely going to test them out. So first, let's take a look at the red stratagems that I'm going to be using here, because I do think these are the most important ones for dealing with some of the most powerful enemies in the game. Obviously, 500 kg is going to be a great pick here. The reason I think that the 500 kg is so good is that no matter what you're fighting against any enemy, when it comes to the big ones, you're not going to regret taking this with you, right? So if you're fighting the tripods, if you're fighting the titans, the factory strider, whatever it is, it can deal a lot of damage, right? And it also creates openings. Like, for example, even if you don't kill the Bile Titan with one 500, the chances are that Bile Titan is barely alive. So you can just run at him. For example, if you have a flamethrower, burn him up a little bit, and he's toast. GG, he's dead. And that's why it is one of the most reliable tools within the game. On top of that, you have two uses, and the cooldown isn't that big at all compared to the damage that it deals. Now, the second pick for me is going to be the orbital laser. Now, keep in mind, this is incredibly strong against the bots. This is very strong against the Illuminates as well. And with all the changes that happened to the game, it's actually very good against the bugs as well. The only problem with the laser is its high cooldown. So arguably, it can be like, yeah, Pip, but you know, the cooldown's not really that good. Why am I going to pick it up? Well, you have the 500 kg for those single target moments. And if you have two Bile Titans or two tripods coming your way, that's when you're going to be dropping down the laser, and it does melt the enemies. And when it comes to the bots, you guys already know it can literally just clear out a whole base on its own without you having to worry about anything. And especially if you're pushing, for example, the bigger nests when you're playing against the bugs, having the laser really makes that so much more enjoyable because you just throw it in. And if there's a lot of chargers or titans, it really does take care of them. The next pick is going to be the Quazer Cannon. And the reason the Quazer Cannon is so good is because it will deal with any of the bigger enemies without any problems. It deals massive damage. It takes down the ships. It destroys the bots. It's extremely good against the bugs. You can take out Bile Titans, chargers, and it really slaps the Illuminates around as well. Like when it comes to the tripods, as long as you take down the shields, it gets the job done. Now, keep in mind, knowing weak spots is going to help with all of that. Now, another pick that you could go instead of the Quazer Cannon would be the one and only Railgun. And even though right now not many people use this, when it comes to the fact of it being a tool, but where it really shines is that it is a great tool when it comes to all factions, because it will deal tons of damage no matter which faction you're going to be fighting. So Railgun or the Quazer Cannon would be my favorite pick. And the reason I am going to pick the Quazer Cannon instead of, for example, instead of the recoilless, for example, is because I do want that extra backpack slot. And the reason I want that is I'm going to have a lot more options, right? If I want more survivability, I'm going to go for the shield generator pack. If I want better ammo economy, I can go for the supply pack. Now, that said, since I'm using Quazer Cannon and I'm not worried about the ammo when it comes to the Quasar, probably depending on what you're struggling with more, shield will be a great pick. It adds tons of survivability against the bugs, the bots, and the Illuminates as well. So you can't really go wrong with the shield. However, maybe you're trying to create a build where you have a little bit more aggressive playstyle. In that case, you can go with the rovers. You can pick up the laser rover, which is my favorite personally, or you can go for the guard dog as well. The guard dog is actually pretty good against the Illuminates. I personally, once again, prefer the laser overall, but there's a bunch of players that enjoy the guard dog as well. So we're going to pick up the shield here, and this is going to be our loadout that deals with every faction no matter what. So don't have to worry about everything. The bigger enemies, not a problem with this loadout. And then for the booster, we're going to pick up the stamina enhancement. I think that universally, just having that really good speed makes a difference in this game, especially no matter which enemy you're fighting, right? Like just the rotation speed around the map really does change the gameplay, and it makes it much more enjoyable as long as you have that speed and more stamina. Now, let's take a look at the weapons first, and then we're going to discuss armor, because armor is going to be the one thing that we are going to be switching around. So for the weapon, easy pick here, easy. And that is going to be the one and only Purifier. The fact that this weapon has massive AoE explosions, extremely good single target damage, sitting at 500. It is medium armor penetrating and explosive at the same time. And its charge up version shots just create the environment for extremely good ammo economy, because every shot will take out a bunch of enemies and you don't have to worry about running out of ammo as you would with if you were using an AR, for example, and then you would be reloading every 1.2 seconds because the ammo economy on the ARs is absolutely horrible, right? Let's just be honest here. So the weapon pick, pretty simple. It's going to be the one and only Purifier. The Purifier shines against the Illuminates, no matter how you look at it. Zombies, not an issue. You take him out, one explosion, like 300 zombies are dead. When it comes to the flying enemies, you destroy them as well, as long as you're landing your shots. You can deal damage to tripods. You just got to know the weak spots. You can take out chargers as long as you know how to hit around the area of their back leg or their tail as well. The ad clear on the bug side is also very nice because of the set explosion. But where it really goes nuts is the bots. If you have 4, 5, 7, 15, 37 Devastators in front of you, okay, 37 might be a little bit too much. You're probably dead. But like if you have, let's say 3 to 5 of them, as long as you're hitting one of them, that explosion is hitting all of them. And the damage is really high. You can take down ships when they're flying at you without any problem. Once again, as long as you can aim. And overall, this weapon will not let you down. For me personally, easily the best weapon within the game. For the secondary, it's going to be the grenade pistol. This is more there for, to take down the spaceships and the bug holes. You guys get the point. But, if you need to, that explosion does come in handy in general. And this is probably one of the best secondary weapons within the game. For the grenades, we're going to have two options. It's either going to be stun or gas. Both of these, incredible. Just depends what you're looking for more. So there's going to be one main difference here between these two, right? For example, stun is very good to control the battlefield. However, keep in mind, gas is also really good to control the battlefield. That said, where gas surpasses the stun is that it can also close down bug holes, for example, with the new changes. So that's going to be up to you. Personally, you guys know I love both of these grenades, but lately I've been using gas grenades even more than usual. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love stun nades. I think they're an absolute game changer no matter which faction you're fighting. But the ability to have these grenades and close down the bug holes when I need to, with the fact that it also confuses the hell out of the enemies. And if you're fighting, for example, the bugs, takes them out pretty easily as well. And it also deals damage. It is becoming my favorite grenade in the game. So these are going to be our weapon choices here. And for the armor, as I said, this is the only part where we're going to switch around an item. If I'm playing the Illuminates or the bugs, my armor of choice, pretty simple. Medkit armor. 6 stims. Incredible speed. Incredible survivability. And no matter what, having those 2 extra stims is a game changer. It really is. Especially when you're fighting against the bugs and you just keep getting hit by those nasty hunters. The speed that the light armor brings, it's just better. I've tried medium armor, I've tried heavy armor, and in some situations you can make heavy armor work. Like for example, with my melee tank build, I really love using heavy armor, very specific heavy armor with peak physique, but that's a different build. But for this one, it's definitely gonna be the medical armor with 6 stims, both for Illuminates and the bugs. And finally, for the bots, my favorite armor, Devastator. Having 50% resistance to explosive damage is very nice in a scenario where you're most likely gonna spend more time in the air than on the ground. And I'm talking about ragdolling, by the way. Since there's so much explosive shit happening all the time, this one keeps you alive. And once again, if you're combining this with the shield, your survivability does skyrocket a lot. So yeah, that's how a build that works against all factions looks. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite build that works against every single faction within the game. I'd love to take a look. As always, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. We got great stuff coming up in the future. I'm very, very excited about the future of this channel in general. Once again, thank you so much for all the love and support. Stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one.